So as we enter the church, the first thing we really come upon is this font. Now, the wooden part of the font is part of the original baptismal font used by Father Sorin, who founded the University of Notre Dame. The light fixture above the font actually served as the covering for the font, but you would turn it over and it would cover the font.
Yep.
Right here. This is the shield of the Congregation of Holy Cross, and it's in gold leaf. This is very special for us in Holy Cross because it is on this spot that our priests are ordained and our seminarians profess final vows, perpetual vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Here, of course, is the sanctuary area, and this was remodeled in accord with the reforms of the Second Vatican Council. The sanctuary used to really begin where those two pillars there are. So it was extended forward a bit, okay? This is the altar of sacrifice where we celebrate the Eucharist on a regular daily basis, right? The high altar was the original altar here in the church. Father Sorin, as he's building this church, he knew he needed an altar that would make an impressive statement for people walking in. So the story goes was that he was in Beauvais, France. He walks into a church, he sees this altar. He contacts some artisans in Paris and tells them, you come to Beauvais, copy this altar down, go back to Paris, build it, and then ship it over here. So that's basically how we got this altar. It's called a Sacrament Tower, and it's a very traditional way of reserving the Blessed Sacrament. So it's 12-sided, and what we have here of course is where the Blessed Sacrament is reserved, the Tree of Life. The 21st chapter of Revelation speaks about the various walls are guarded, the entranceways are guarded by angels. So you can see the host of angels guarding the walls of the city. And the entire city is gathered before the Lamb who was slain. So at the very top, you can see the Lamb who is, of course, Jesus, who was sacrificed for us. In the rear of the Basilica, we have the so-called Lady Chapel. This was originally where the Basilica ended. But to help celebrate Father Sorin's 50th anniversary of his ordination in 1888, they began the construction of this addition in 1886. So what we have here in the Lady Chapel is a vision really of the heavenly assembly, gathered together around the cross of Jesus Christ. Spes unica, our only hope. And so we have men and women of various epochs of Old Testament and New Testament gathered together, as well as post the New Testament saints who have gathered together to share, as well as smaller images of other people, children, bishops, lay people, whole host of folks. So this altar, you can see it's very Baroque, kind of Rococo style, really doesn't fit in with the Gothic style, but very beautiful. We believe that this altar was either made by, or in the school of, or under the direction of Bernini. Bernini, of course, is the man who designed the altar in St. Peter's Basilica and also the colonnade around the Piazza San Pietro, the Bernini columns. So, if this is indeed a Bernini altar, it is perhaps one of 8 or 9 altars in the world attributed to Bernini. So just off the Lady Chapel to the east is our Reliquary Chapel. Here we have many hundreds of relics, which were gotten by Father Sorin, who had a great devotion to the saints. So it's a place that's really a very prayerful place where people will be able to actually look up their patron saint, find the relic of their patron saint, and then offer prayer to that saint for themselves, for their loved ones, friends, for the world, whatever it might be. So it's a It's a reliquary chapel, so it's a place of prayer. These are symbols, sacramentals, which remind us of these holy men and women, many of whom gave their lives to Jesus and who we hope to emulate in our own daily living of the gospel.